All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the dollar index, and we're going to start with the daily time frame. Actually, let's go ahead and we'll drop out to the weekly since it is the start of a new week. And let's see. Okay, so in terms of next upside objectives that I'm going to be looking for dollar index, I'm not bearish this market yet. I'm still going to be bullish. And the reason is, if you look on this weekly chart, we're coming off this ICT daily order block right here. And that's what this gray box is that's marked out. And you can see that we consolidated around here for a while, and then we started to push up. Well, on Friday, we did make it above this high here, which is at 94.20 level that I've been mentioning for a while now in terms of an upside objective. So as long as we continue bullish, I'm expecting 95 to 95.20 to be the next upside objectives. Now, let me go ahead and drop down to a daily. And now I will go ahead and switch my bias short term. So anytime that the market has just taken out a key level like this, so we've just taken out a key level of sell side, buy side liquidity. So anybody who was selling the market here, their stop losses were above here. So as the market pushes above there, it takes them out of the market. So in order for us to get bearish this market, I personally will need the low of this down candle right here. So the low comes in at 93.61. So if we can get a close below 93.61, that would indicate to me that there is a possible high in on the dollar index, and we can expect a little bit of a retracement. I wouldn't say switch the bias overall to bearish, because we still would have to break at least this low here in order to break structure on the daily. So if we break this low, that would confirm a lower low. But if we break below here, that will indicate at least a short-term retracement on the dollar index. So what that would look like would be, say for example, the market opens up and we start trading lower Monday and Tuesday, and say Tuesday we close below this level here, then possibly for the remainder of the week we would be looking for bearish price action potentially into these two down candles here, which is an ICT bullish order block, and that would be the move that we'd be looking for. Okay, but that's only if we break below this low. So in the current market, though, I'm expecting 95 to 95.20 to be the next upside objectives on dollar index. And I won't be focusing on selling the dollar index until we break below this low, which would mean, in terms of what I'm looking for the week for foreign currencies, is going to be shorts. So if we're looking to buy dollar index, we're looking to sell Euro USD, GBP USD, anything where the dollar index is the secondary currency in the pair. So not the base currency, but the secondary currency. If that is USD, then we're going to be looking to buy that pair. So it could be any of the majors that are paired with USD, as long as the secondary pair is US dollar, then we'll be looking to buy that. So let's go ahead and we'll move to Euro dollar. And Euro dollar, whenever we swept below these lows here, these equal lows, that was a key level on the daily time frame, right? So these are equal lows on a daily time frame. So this just, once we break below here, that indicates, the market is pretty bearish, pretty heavily bearish in my opinion, because we had this big move below these equal lows that are over here, and then look what happened here. This candle pushed up, retested structure. All it was retesting was these lows here, and then it sold off again. So next downside objective for Euro dollar, I'm looking for 1.1550. So 1550. That'll be my next downside objective on Euro dollar, which would also complement our movement that we're expecting on dollar index. So if we're expecting dollar index to push up to continue to take out those equal highs, we're expecting Euro dollar to continue lower below this low here, which would create a lower low on the daily time frame with euro dollar. So once we get below there, will we start to reject and push up, or is it going to be a trend continuation? At that point, we won't really know until we see what the candles do around this level. But regardless of that, it doesn't matter because we're looking for higher prices on dollar, so we should just be focusing on selling the euro dollar. Now you're probably thinking, okay, where would I sell this at? How would I know, where I'm supposed to sell? Well, if you look at this, remember, you always want to operate off of a higher time frame. So notice you haven't even seen me go down from the daily time frame. And that's because we're doing a weekly analysis. There's really no need to go any lower than a daily time frame because we're looking the expectations that we're setting right now are what's going to unfold over the week. So there's no need for me to be, diving down into an hourly chart because it's going to change so much over the course of, one day. And by me sticking to a daily, we're able to keep the analysis a little bit, I guess, more in line with the liquidity that they're seeking. If we're operating off of a daily, you can't really get a good directional confirmation on where they're going. But this is why, for the weekly analysis, you'll always see me pretty much stick on a daily time frame because I'm outlining the things that I'm expecting for the week. So that's obviously going to be over a longer period of time versus just like an hourly time frame. So euro dollar, again, looking for lower prices. And if you guys didn't catch the message that I sent, it was a couple of days ago, I think, in the Telegram group. And during the week, my primary focus is usually on cable or something, GBP USD, just particularly because that's my favorite pair, and how I tell you guys, pick one pair and stick with it. That's kind of the pair that I choose and stick with. But during the weekly analysis, I go over all these pairs. That way, for you guys that maybe don't trade cable as much or can't be in front of the charts all the time, you can actually set limit orders or even enter trades based off of the things that I talk about in these weekly analysis videos. So for example, if you're someone who works a lot, you can set a sell limit order at the low of this ICT bearish order block on a daily. So this would be 1.16908 on this platform here. So if you set a sell limit right here at this ICT, so right there, if you set a sell limit there, as the market, say Monday and Tuesday, the market pushes up into this, it'll trigger your sell order, and you would have your stop loss above the bearish order block high right here, and then you would be targeting this low here. And that could be for somebody who doesn't even have any time at the charts, and you're just, as soon as the market opens today, you place this limit order, and if the market trades up to this level, it'll put you in the market. You'll have your stop loss set, and then you'll have your take profit set. And that's just a little thing that you guys can do for the ones of you that are working a lot or have to spend a lot of time at a job and don't have much time to look at the charts. Then this is totally something that you guys can start doing. Just set limit orders based off of the levels that I talk about. Set a limit order at either a bullish or bearish ICT order block, and then whatever target I'm looking for, just set that as your take profit, and then whatever your stop loss is. For this example, I would use if you guys do this, then I would put my sell limit here, I'd put my stop loss above here, and my take profit would be below this low here. So that's that. If we look at GBP USD, I forgot. Sorry, let me delete these things. Someone asked me a question the other day, and I gave them an explanation on this chart here. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this price action that we've seen right here. Up candle, down candle, down candle. Remember, we were talking about this. The market pushed up into this, and I was like, I want to see how this daily candle closes. Notice we traded right up into the bearish order block, closed bearish, sold off the next day. Then we've created another ICT bearish order block here and have since pushed lower. So this confirmed that this is ICT bearish order block. So we could be looking for the same thing that we just seen in euro in cable. So we could set a limit order here at this low, 33.40, stop loss above the high, and take profit. Ultimately would be below these lows back here, but I would be taking partial profits in between all this because this market could very well start finding some support. We've been on a heavily bearish move, and sometimes we could just wick below these lows and start trading higher. Again, that's usually why I wait to start trading on Tuesday, because say Sunday and Monday the market decides to form a wick below here, and then we break above this ICT bearish order block. If I was trying to trade, say, Monday and the market was already shooting lower, I would be thinking this is a sell versus just waiting until Tuesday and letting that wick form, if that was the case, if the wick did form and then it started pushing up higher. But that's why it's good to always, give the market some time, let it tell you what it's going to do. Basically, let it show its hand to you before you take action. Wait for the confirmation. Don't just try to act off of impulse. Okay, so in terms of what I'm looking for GBP USD, again, I am expecting a retest of this bearish order block and then continuation lower. So just for those of you that watch this recording, I'm just gonna go ahead and draw it out for you. So in case anybody gets confused, we're just gonna be looking for a retest of that level there, and then we're gonna be looking for a sell-off, okay? And if I can see the market find some resistance here on a lower time frame, obviously then I'll call the sell and the signal group, and then we'll go ahead and we'll adjust the trade and manage it accordingly. So that's what I'm going to be expecting for cable. So pretty much the same exact scenario on both cable and fiber, which is Euro USD. Let's go ahead and we'll move over to USD JPY. Now, this pair here is throwing me off a little bit, to be honest. So I'm not really going to be trading USD JPY because it's not following the sync of the dollar index at all. I mean, as you can see, dollar index has been pushing higher, but USD JPY, we've seen some significant weakness. So what I'm getting from that is whenever one of the majors, especially with dollar as the base currency, so USD JPY, USD CAD, dollar Swiss, anything like that, if one of those pairs starts showing weakness before the other, that likely means that there could be a potential top forming in the dollar. So if we look USD JPY, we've seen this high form and then a significant drop lower. Now, this piece of price action right here, like this high right here with this down move and this push up and then this break lower, this is honestly like my favorite pattern to trade right here. So like as this market's pushing up into here, I would look to sell it and then look for lower prices. But I'm not actually going to be trading this pair simply based off the fact that it's not following dollar index. And I've lost too much money trying to trade pairs not following the sync of the dollar index. So I just have a way better read on price action when I know what the dollar index is going to do, and the pair that I'm trading is actually following that. So this pair is not following that at the moment, so I'm not going to be looking for any trades on USD JPY. So in terms of direction, this to me looks like it wants to go lower, potentially into this ICT bullish order block here, coming in around 107.60 to 107.80. So 107.80 to 107.60 would be the downside objectives I'm looking for on USD JPY. Now, if we start to find some support here and start pushing up along with dollar index trading higher, then we'll look for a trade in here if we see a setup. But at the moment, this market does not look like it's finding support, and if anything, looks like it's going to be trading lower. So first downside objective would be below this swing low right here. I'll take this box off. This swing low comes in at 108.64. So let me go ahead and map that. So 108.64 is going to be the next downside objective I'm going to be looking for. And then 107.80 to 107.60. All right. All right. So yeah, again, if anybody does trade this, be careful. Again, like I said, it's really hard for me to get in the trade or be trading a pair that's not falling in sync with the dollar index. So be careful if you're trading this, but overall, I mean, it looks like it's going to continue lower to me, which really doesn't make much sense considering the fact that dollar is going to be pushing higher. Yeah, so just be careful if you take this trade. Not something I'll be taking, honestly. There's a lot better stuff to be looking at than be looking at that right now, in my opinion. Okay, so dollar CAD. This one here has really been, anybody trying to short this pair is getting crushed. So, you know, I know a lot of people after seeing this move here and this push all the way back up, everybody has been shorting this. So they haven't given the people who are short this market any type of profitability. They've just been putting a major squeeze on anybody who's trying to sell this market. So since we are still within this consolidation, so let me just make sure that I map this out so you guys know what consolidation I'm talking about. So you can agree that we're trading, well, now that we're above this high, but for the most part, we're trading between this low here and these highs, right? These bodies respected those highs, but Friday we did get a push above it. So, I mean, we technically would need to adjust it to this high, but this is the consolidation we're in. So in terms of what I'm thinking for this, I really need dollar CAD to get back above this high. If we get back above this high, then we know, okay, they're gonna continue pushing this thing up. At the moment, though, I don't have a clear read on dollar CAD. So I mean, with dollar index pushing higher, that should automatically, you know, mean that we should be looking for higher prices in dollar index. But from what I'm seeing in the price action, I don't personally see like any good buying levels that I'd want to buy off of. I mean, maybe this ICT bullish order block here, but I would only want to buy off of this ICT bullish order block if we broke above this high here at very minimum. So I'm not really going to be looking for anything in dollar CAD either, because we could very well just poke above this high. And if dollar index is starting to find some resistance and we'll start trading lower, then this market could very well just poke it. Like, I know you guys have probably seen this multiple times in your trading where the market will push above an old high, just like a couple pips, maybe even 1 or 2 pips. Potentially you even had your stop loss here and it'll stop you out and only by 1 pip, and then it'll reverse and go the complete opposite direction. Well, imagine that scenario here. You know, say that this market pushed up, took out anybody that was trying to sell it right here. They just brought it up 1 or 2 pips above it. Anybody that was short here, they took them out, and then they just sink it. They don't wait for anybody and just let it shit the bed. So, I mean, you know, that could very well happen. But again, I mean, I don't have any clear signs of that until dollar index would start breaking down, at least below that daily ICT bullish order block here. So we need the break below 93.61, right? 93.61 would be when I would start looking for shorter term weakness in dollar index, which would indicate I could look for, you know, day trade buys on foreign currency. So pretty much the only things that I like to trade this week going forward are Euro dollar and GBP USD. As far as USD JPY and USD CAD, I'm honestly not really interested in trading neither one of them this week. I mean, if there's a setup, I'll trade them. But again, you guys already pretty much know now that my focus is typically on cable or Euro USD. So it just turns out that those are the best two pairs that, in my opinion, going forward for this week. Let me take a look at Euro GBP really quickly and see. This thing has just really been consolidating like no other. I mean, if you look at this thing on a daily, this is since September 26th, 2017. We've just been consolidating. So this market hasn't done anything. So in terms of direction, we're going to be turning to dollar index to determine what we're going to be looking for. So we're thinking higher prices on dollar index. So we're going to be looking for weaker prices in foreign currency. It doesn't even really matter what Euro GBP is doing right now because there is no clear direction, right? This market is not going anywhere outside of this box, you know, and we know that because it's just been trading within there. So until we get a clear breakout above here or breakout below there, then this pair will start having some influence on fiber and cable, but I don't think this is going to have much of an effect on Euro or GBP simply because it's consolidating. So we're going to look for dollar index to be the direction confirmation for us. And yeah, that's pretty much all the pairs that I look at. So if there's anything that you guys have specifically that you want me to go over, I could do that. And we'll go ahead and we can move into the Q&A portion. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them in the chat box and I'll answer them for you. I'm gonna grab a sip of water real quick.
After this track, I might need me some lozenges. I ain't about to go soft. This rapper shit lately been pissing me off. Guess these words are kinda just at the tip of my tongue, but I'm still young and I hope I find the rhymes that'll live through time before that fat lady has sung. Cause when I'm inside this booth, feels like I rule the world. But I'll hop off my horse, hop in your Porsche, give it